Hello, and thank you for joining our Stream of Conscious ADHD podcast. I'm Heidi Fawcett, along with my sister Heather. We are Gen X in menopause and, surprise, newly diagnosed with ADHD. Since we found out about our ADHD during the pandemic, we have spent most weekends sitting in my backyard in Brooklyn with our champagne brunch discussing the impact, the reflections, the grief, the stories. Many adults are now finding they were never diagnosed, so we thought we would bring everyone into our backyard discovery sessions, hoping it will help. We laugh, we cry, we are stream of consciousness conversationalists. We hope you enjoy listening to our discovery and perhaps glean some comfort from it. Here we go, into the backyard.
Oh, look, the lights have come on.
Oh, because they're like, it's going to rain.
Right.
We're going to be spectacular for you. All right. So I have my computer with all the things like queued up, but apparently we're not going to have my computer. And this, Heather and I get huge joy out of sitting under an umbrella, like a big umbrella, when it's raining. One of the times this happened, we were in Brooklyn on Smith Street, Smith and Dean, I think. There's this little French cafe there, and we were sitting outside under the awning in the middle of the summer. All of a sudden, it was just like, boom, monsoon. It wasn't even just regular rain.
Biblical.
Because it was just like, we had a moment. And since then, we very much enjoy sitting under an umbrella. And so we are in the backyard in Brooklyn, and we are sitting under the umbrella, and there are storm clouds rolling in. So you may hear that. So
And we may need to abandon ship in case, if it gets really windy, we have to put down the umbrella and
possibly.
bail out,
Yes,
as they say.
possibly. All right.
So I think this is a huge thing. And actually, the woman, and you guys will hear me say this again about this woman because I think she was amazing. Her name is Karen. I'm so bad with pronouncing things, probably because I'm neurodivergent. So Karen Sapardio, PhD. The Attitude magazine has a podcast called ADHD Experts. And episode 511 just kicked my ass because she was talking about all these things, and she actually talked about the eye contact and how either debilitating or how, I don't want to say unfair, but if people who are of a different brain structure thinks, oh, they're not listening, or oh, they don't know what they're talking about. It's a disservice to everyone because we're expected.
Ableist.
Yes, we're expected by this social construct to always look in your eyes. Well, where the hell did that come from?
It's
Like,
ableist. Dislikes.
Why?
Because you're within one standard deviation from the mean. Those are the eye contact people, and everybody else.
Right, but I fully believe 50% of the people are not of that. I don't think there's the standard deviation anymore. I think they need to reassess or whatever, but that's just my whatever.
Are you getting wet over there? Because it's starting to
I'm
come
not.
down. Good.
I am totally good, which is,
Same.
this is the best.
Yeah.
Heather and I sit out here, and a lot of times we talk about the squirrels or the birds or whatever. But they're all gone because we're sitting under the umbrella and it's raining and it's glorious. We love sitting under the rain. Let me look back on my
I think
topics.
it's raining in my drink, which makes me a little bit happy.
Aw.
Yeah.
Okay, that was eye contact. That was a very long eye contact. I actually want to wait to talk about the ADHD aspect once you've listened to I don't know. I just feel like there's so much to unpack there. But
Yeah, I've been looking into it, and that's why I noted my interest in this area, this overlap space, and my interest in it generally and personally, because I have noticed some traits in myself that fit into this category, especially the PDA profile in particular.
And one of the things I have recognized, not just listening to people who really get that no one else is really getting ADHD or autism,
Especially in women, adult women.
especially in women. Oh, and there's the whole thing about non-binary, a whole thing. It's oh man, I could just go on and on and on. Oh, did my phone die? No. My thought is, because I'm always bringing these certain factors in that are nurture versus nature. So you say a lot like, oh, ADHD is genetic. There's the genetic part, this, that, and the other, which I'm not saying there's not the thing, but I think we have both.
Yeah, no, I would agree
and
with that.
nurture.
There's trauma elements, which it would be superhuman if we did not.
Have some damage from that.
Yeah, because some of our experiences have been just off the charts.
And it's interesting that before we knew about ADHD, we looked back on our childhood and said, the reason we did so bad in school, the reason we couldn't pay attention, the reason we couldn't do X, Y, and Z like normal people was because our family life was so screwed up that we couldn't concentrate. And that speaks volumes. But then on top of it, having something that it's like a double whammy. Like, how did we even get here? I'm so proud of us that we've got freaking here. Because the odds are against us.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
In both ways.
But
So,
I think that part of the drive was to not be there, to escape from that, to build a better place.
is that the PTG?
I'm not sure, but
Post-traumatic growth?
all I know, perhaps, yeah.
Here comes the kid.
Unintentionally, but I think our mother had a very difficult go, and I think she would be very pleased.
I agree. I'm trying. Hi, what's fine. I sometimes feel.
Are you wearing socks? Good gravy.
Of course she is.
Hurry up, get under the well, get under here. It's
fine.
dry under here. You're already very,
lightning.
it's very uncomfortable.
I
just so
think
you know.
Mom would be super proud of us. And I think that she would be like, man, you guys had the dominoes stacked against you and you still just pulled it out.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of that. I'm proud of you for that. I'm proud of me for that. But I don't want to say that out loud because I feel like
Maybe we need to scoot forward, right? Okay, let's do it.
Oh, yes.
You grab your side. Come on in. Yeah.
There we go. Okay. So one of the nurture, maybe, I don't even know. You tell me if this is nature or nurture. There is research that was done in 2002, environmental health and I don't even know what that word is. Parental smoking exposure before and during pregnancy and offspring attention deficit hyperactivity disorder risk child and adolescent cohort study. And so they do background. They say,
how many patients? How many people in this?
okay,
What's
hold
the
on,
end?
y'all. This is Heather's clinical stuff kicking in. Methods. The present study included 2,477 school-aged children and their parents from Shanghai child and adolescent health cohorts.
She's reading about us.
Who had completed data
Chinese patients,
for
Chinese children.
offspring ADHD diagnosis and parents smoking exposure before and blah, blah. Okay, results. Actually, I can read the results, but the number is just like, I don't know what the bleep that means. So, conclusion, parental smoking before pregnancy and parental smoking exposure 1 year ahead and throughout pregnancy were all risk factors for offspring developing ADHD.
And causal, or is it a correlation?
Does it say that in the methods?
I don't know.
I don't see the word causal or correlation. So, wait, hold on. Introduction, method, baseline, potential confounders.
Yeah, let's talk about the confounders.
Potential confounders were considered given the prior knowledge of common causes of parental smoking exposure and offspring ADHD risk. The co-founders selected in this study included maternal alcohol consumption before pregnancy, yes or no, maternal alcohol consumption during pregnancy, yes or no, offspring gender, male, female, maternal age, maternal depression status during pregnancy, yes or no, paternal obesity, yes or body mass index, and monthly income per capita. I guess they took other factors.
Well,
but
those are the
why-
confounders. They didn't account for when they did the analyses. So
Okay, you think alcohol might be a thing, or
well, that's what they're saying. These
Oh,
are
okay.
confounding factors that could impact the analyses, but they didn't account for. These are variables they didn't account for,
Yeah.
and they could potentially.
Okay, but I just felt like smoking might be a thing because
But you didn't smoke with Grace, and she has ADHD.
right, but I smoked before Grace, and they're saying if you smoked a year prior,
You didn't smoke a year
or
prior.
had secondary smoke.
You didn't have secondary smoke a year prior.
Yes, I did.
From where?
I smoked a year prior.
Why? I thought you would quit.
I quit when I got pregnant, but not the year prior.
I thought you would quit way before that.
No.
Oh, because you were on
I was-
Wellbutrin, and you're like, I don't feel the urge to
Right,
smoke,
but-
but you ended up smoking anyway, like Katie did.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm getting
Ricochet. Yeah.
Yes. It's like a drum.
Same, but it's just part of the charm.
Okay. Not able to remember how to spell certain words. And I get that ADHD people struggle with learning disabilities, right? But the whole thing about, and you and I both talked about this, we go to write the word or type the word of, and it's like OV. Or how do you spell freaking of? And in this 2-second period of time, you get paralyzed and you're like, how do I not know how to spell a 2-letter word? So, some students with ADHD may struggle to spell common words such as who, there, said. This is because they tend to sound out the words like of, OV, rather than memorize their patterns. Multi-sensory instruction can help these students, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Sorry, I don't mean to
No,
override the fix
You're
there.
setting the stage.
Yeah.
You're paving the road.
ADHD and spelling. Why ADHD can make spelling difficult. And some of these are just kind of like, I've been trying to help Grace for so long that I get these articles and they're like, this is what you should do. And I'm like, really? That's a no-brainer. Let's just move on from that. Don't give me an article that's just like, give them a schedule to check off. Yeah, I get that. But many parents of children with ADHD have noticed challenges with written expression, including one or more of the following: sloppy handwriting, check; misspelled words, check; skipping words or letters. I actually have not done that. Hard time memorizing sight words, check; impatient writing. I'll tell you, Grace is so impatient about writing. She writes really hard to the point where she breaks the point of her pencil. And I didn't know that was a thing.
I'm impatient when I write, and it causes me to leave words out. Because
Oh.
in my head, I have the word, but when I'm typing, to exaggerate, I'll put the first word and the last word and assume everything else is in there, but it's not.
Okay. And actually, I found something that might be interesting to you. I'm afraid we're going to get blown away right now. We have this huge maple tree next to us that we were just talking about earlier might take out the whole block. So,
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
and it's very aggressive right now.
Oh, you're back?
Oh my gosh, Gracie.
It's very
Okay.
dramatic right now. You should take them off before you come into the wet.
Okay, so
really?
yeah,
Your timing
I
is.
don't even know if I'm going to be able to be heard.
We have to lean forward.
All right, so let's just stop because I think,
It's hitting highly dramatic out here.
Our reason for this podcast is to support and uplift women in recognizing the impact undiagnosed ADHD has on their lives and to know that they're not alone. Discovery and grieving for what life could have been if we had only known and had help can be hard sometimes. If you have any thoughts you would like to share, you can email us at genx.adhd.sisters@gmail.com. Thank you for listening. #GenX ADHD Sisters.